I just wanted to talk real quickly about Occam's razor and this idea that the simplest explanation is the preferred explanation. And I just wanted to say that the simplest explanation is subjective, that it depends on what you know. That if somebody is describing some event and in explaining it, they're telling me that they made a phone call to somebody in Europe or somebody in another continent, it's very easy for me to understand and to believe that. But 50 years ago or 100 years ago, that would have been impossible. People wouldn't have had the same understanding about cell phones or anything like that. Now, when it comes to something like cell phones, it's kind of easy to take it for granted that because cell phones are a technology about which the public shares a common knowledge or a common understanding. We all know about cell phones. We all know they exist. Now we do. 50 years ago, that wouldn't have been true. But now we all know that they exist. We all know something about them, what they do, how to do it. But that's actually received knowledge. That's received information. I had nothing to do with cell phone technology, with inventing it. It's very complicated. Cell phones are very complicated machines. They have, I think, hundreds of billions of microelectronic components, if you're counting transistors and capacitors and everything else. I couldn't design one. I couldn't manufacture one. My knowledge of them is entirely received from my environment, from others, from the companies and the people that did the fundamental science in the early 20th century in quantum mechanics and everything else that they needed to do. And I take knowing about them for granted. I'm doing what I think most people in the public do. They take what we know for granted, but it isn't for granted. And cell phone technology might be something that is shared by the public, or knowledge of it is shared by the public, but it doesn't have to be that way. And in particular, big business is able to do research and development at fundamental levels in any area, in physics or chemistry or biology or genetics or virology or medicine or neuroscience or mathematics or electronics or communications. And if they want, they can keep those results to themselves. In fact, cell phones are just an example of one of the technologies that was developed largely, if not entirely, by big business over a period of many years that has been shared with the public. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are the things that we know and which we tend to take for granted that we know, but we ought to realize that there isn't anything for granted about it. That big business is a private thing, and it is able to do research and development on anything that it wants and keep the results to itself. It's just how it is. And if they're doing that with regard to some technology or some area of science, we're just not going to know. Anyhow, getting back to Occam's razor and this idea that the simplest explanation to who? The simplest explanation depends on what you know. If you know about cell phones, then things involving cell phones are very simple. If I make a phone call with the cell phone, something that I could not have done 50 years ago, today, it's very simple. It's a very simple thing, and it's very simple to, to say that happened and to accept that as part of an explanation for something. If I don't know about cell phones, even though they might exist, but if I don't know about them, then I can't accept a reference to a cell phone or somebody making a phone call with a cell phone as part of any kind of a simple explanation. So I just wanted to make that little comment about this idea of Occam's razor. The idea that that the simplest explanation is the best, or that it's the correct one, or that it's the one that we prefer. Yeah, it's the one that we prefer. The simplest explanation to me is the one that I prefer. But that's subjective. That's all. Thank you.